Yes, and we are live. So this is the first pair programming for human connection. We'll talk in English because it's currently Matt and me. Matt is living in Brazil on a beautiful island at the coast of Brazil. What's the next bigger town?
Yeah, it's a city. Florianopolis is the name.
Florianopolis, yeah. And I'm still in Berlin, and yeah, let's see how this is going. We had some connection issues, but I hope they will resolve. Yeah, and as you can see, we're talking in English because Matt's German is not that good. I hope that's fine for everyone. Human Connection is an international community after all, even though it started in Germany and most of our members are native German speakers. They want to, it's always translated to English, and I think they also wanted to translate to French and whatever. So we definitely need developers and members from every language. My suggestion is to set up component tests. I have no experience with that. It will be new for me. I don't know if we are successful tonight. I hope so. I want to work for maybe 2 hours on it, not any longer, because it's getting late here in Berlin. Yeah, so that said, I'll start sharing my screen and I will show you what branch I'm currently working on. So this is the repository that I was talking about. It's the front-end repository of Human Connection. It has two different repositories. There's the backend repository and the front-end repository. The backend is called API. Front-end is called Web App. This one here is built with Vue. It's also using Nuxt. So Nuxt.js is an opinionated, how do they call it? Universal Vue.js applications. So Vue.js is just the view layer, and Nuxt apparently is like a whole tool set. And it also has, for example, server-side rendering included. And there's one small piece of documentation, how to write tests. Yes, there we go. So they have some documentation how to do end-to-end testing. And they are using Ava. How would you pronounce it, Matt?
Ava, yeah.
Ava. This is a test runner. It's similar to Mocha, but it's possible to parallelize Ava, right? So yeah, this one is it. It's a test runner for JavaScript. It's so-called. It says it's a minimalistic test runner. Or where do we have this word? Minimalistic. Minimal. That's it. Really? All right. I've read that so many times. It's anyhow. Okay. I thought it's in the README. And this is how it looks like. So you just import test from Ava, and then you say basically you write a test class like this. So test is a function that takes a parameter, which is apparently the description of the test, and then you have this T thing. And this T thing, with this T thing, you call assertions. You say that a test has passed. You can do a lot of things. You can count assertions. So you can expect that at least 3 or 4 assertions are called during the test case. What I'm missing is, even though you can say you have before and after all blocks, there's no nesting yet. So you cannot do something like describe or context. This is very familiar to me in Mocha. Everything is very flat. So you have one before block, which is running before every test case in the file, and there's no nesting of test cases. Yeah. I have to get used to it, but yeah, this is how it works.
It's similar to, I've written some tests in Elixir and Phoenix, and there's like just a lot of repetition. It was not very dry at all.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, neither do I.
For the backend, am I on the latest? I'm on develop. I also have to check out the blacklist feature branch. By the way, the blacklist feature, Matt. So my task was to implement this blacklist feature. It's let's show it. On run dev. By the way, that's the way how you would run the application. So this one is now booting up the backend. Blacklist feature. Run. Oh, a lot of dependencies. So when the backend is up and running, we should have application at 3000. Okay, nothing. Why? So pressing, I don't understand. Why is nothing listening on port 3000? On. Okay, I hadn't had time to test this before. I am currently not aware what I'm doing wrong. Do you have an idea?
I mean, it's just kind of a guess, but I think that maybe is the actual server running when it still needs to install the dependencies? Because I would expect it to not work, not actually start the server until the dependencies are done.
Yeah, you're right. I have to install the dependencies first. Thank you.
Yep. I'm doing the same in the background. So mine are installed already. So I'll run yarn run dev, and it listens on port 3000 like Rails server.
Okay, can you share your screen, Matt?
Of course. If you
Give me the driver now.
If you start not being able to hear me, then let me know. So localhost 3000. Unable to find connection. So time end users find undefined.
Yeah, I think this is just some debug output.
Okay. So I've run yarn
as I do.
Yeah. I've run yarn install. It's building. Yeah, it looks like it installed okay. Registering success, redirect middleware. Starting node server.
Oh, sorry. Ha! I told you the wrong port number. The backend is actually running on, the front end is running on 3000. The backend is running on 3030.
Okay. So page not found?
Yeah, that's fine. That's what we expect. So there's no, it's just a backend. There's no top level resource. You can, for example, put in /users, for example. There you go. You don't have, you have the JSON BOR extension. Exactly, and there's the different users. They all have the Slack thing. We have emails, and there's, for example, there are 3 users. One is administrator, one is a moderator, and one's just an ordinary user. The administrator has the email test@test.de. The moderator has the email test2@test2.de. And the ordinary user has, I think, the email test3@test3.de. You will not see it because it's paginated. So we have a lot of users here. Yeah, I don't know how to do the pagination. I think you have to put in query parameters if you want to do that. But it's okay. So it shows you it's always the same thing. If you have some data in here, the users will be available. Now, if you run your front-end application, then there should be something running on localhost 3000 after the front-end application was set up. Yeah.
Is that yarn start?
So for development purposes, you say yarn run dev.
Okay.
you can peek into the package.json if you want. You will see all the scripts there. Yarn start is if you build the application in advance and you just want to run the transpile JavaScript files. And yarn dev is doing the build, and it's building it, and it's rebuilding it when you change files. So if you change something, it's automatically reloaded. And that wouldn't be the case if you would say yarn run start.
So, because there's more than one. There's a package.json in the front end as well, isn't there?
Yeah, of course.
In the API as well.
Yeah, the backend also has a package.json because the backend's not as, for example, for RFM, we are not. This is a Rails backend. Here we have a Feathers.js backend, so we use JavaScript on the server. And that's why we have a package.json in both the frontend and the backend folder.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you see it. So there's dev, and there's dev colon local, and there's dev colon debug. And the only difference is that I refactored those scripts. They were hard to understand before that. So this one here is just doing it's calling some environment variables. And then it does backpack dev. Backpack is just another, runner, I would say, who's doing the I don't know what backpack does actually. Honestly, the monitoring is done by NodeMon. So if you check out backpack, no, where's backpack? Is backpack in the package.json, except as
It's in the node modules. There's a backpack.config.
Okay. So backpack, it's doing. I think it is doing the monitoring for the front end, and on the server we have NodeMon for monitoring changes. Maybe you can check out the package.json for the backend and see, and maybe you can confirm what I just said, or what's the difference? What's the opposite of confirm?
Confirm.
Falsify.
Deny, but deny is not.
Falsify, maybe.
Yeah, or you can confirm something that's negative as well.
Yeah, then we have NodeMon. Okay, so we use NodeMon on the backend and we use Backpack on the front end.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you already start the front end?
Yeah, I should have. Well, I was grabbing, compiled successfully. So then if I go to 3000.
Yeah. Yeah, now you can log in, for example, with test@test.de. That should be make you an administrator. There you are. Now you're Peter, I think. Can you click on your account? Yes, you are Peter. Hello, Peter.
Yeah, nice.
So the feature that I'm supposed to implement, and I already implemented it, is that you click on. Let's say you have some trolls on this social network, which happens, and we have some trolls in our community at the moment. We don't want to censor anybody, right? So censoring is bad, but we want to give people an individual feature of blacklisting certain user accounts or organizations or whatever. So you will not see any contributions. If you say, I don't want to see anything from for example, that particular user, you're not seeing any contribution anymore. For example, of, let's say, Muhammad Simonis. Let's say you don't like Muhammad Simonis, and you click on that contribution. And then there's this chain wheel symbol at the top right corner. No, in the contribution window. Exactly. And then as an admin, you can also, if you click on it, there should be a drop-down. Oh, you can say enable post. You're not on the blacklist feature branch on the web app. So the only option, and I added one more on blacklist feature branch.
Yeah, I switched in the back end, but not in the front end. So go blacklist feature.
Nice. You
Yeah.
have Go as an alias for Git checkout.
Yeah. Okay, and then now I would have.
No, you have to rebuild everything. I think you also have to install dependencies now.
Yeah. Okay. So it's still building the modules.
Yes, of course, because it's you changed files and then it's rebuilding it. You can quit that and install dependencies first, and then do everything from scratch. Yeah. So this blacklist feature branch, and here's the incoming complexity. It's based on 2 other branches, other refactoring branches. So I did a Dockerization, and I was refactoring the configuration, and I was also introducing a data layer for Vue.js. No, for Vue.js. That's right. So in Ember, everything is built in, and we have Ember Data, for example, which is doing all the hard work of just synchronizing data with the backend. And there's nothing like that in Vue.js. Well, nothing out of the box. If you know you have a Feathers.js backend, then you can use Feathers Vuex. You can maybe check that out on the internet. So that's what I introduced. Feathers Vuex is the name.
Feathers Vuex.
Yeah, we use that one for synchronizing data between front end and backend. So this one is aware of a backend which has feathers, and you have convenience methods for fetching data, and you have flags whether or not this request is still pending, if it's loading, or if it's fulfilled, if the promise is fulfilled. And you can, for example, make use of those flags. Sorry, do they call that flags? I guess, I don't know. I don't know what's the word for it, but those properties that signal if a promise has not yet resolved. And then you would, for example, show a loading spinner and something.
Yep.
Makes sense?
Yep.
And we didn't have that before. And all the loading spinners were based on properties that we introduced, and we built everything ourselves, and it's not consistently implemented. So all those requests are totally chaotic. I would say it's everything. Every request is built in a different way. If you're interested in that, you can have a look into the folder store in web app. Store in web app. It's a folder.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to.
Okay, I was wrong. Maybe just open the folder and see what's in there. Oh no, it's actually store. Yeah, there you go. So the first file which is loaded is store index, but index in turn is loading all the other files in that folder. So you could, for example, check out store/user settings. Yes, that one. And it's too much for this pairing, but the piece of software that is responsible for synchronizing state throughout a Vue.js app is called Vuex. And Vuex has those concepts of getters, and so it has state, it has getters, and it has. Can you scroll down a little bit?
This is the whole file.
This is a whole file.
Yeah.
And then it has actions. So in here we have only actions. Okay, so maybe instead of watching user settings, maybe check out the file in the same folder called connections.
Store connections. So we have namespace, we have a state, mutations, getters, and actions.
Yeah, exactly. So mutations mutate the state. Getters give you access to parts of the state. And you have actions, and those actions can be asynchronous. They can, for example, trigger a bucket request. And where you see this $API, that's where we issued backend requests. So this .app and $API, and then service, and then blah blah blah, and then find. Right?
Yep.
So to give you an example where this code is executed, please go to your profile page in the application.
So here's the thing you were talking about.
Yeah, you can also try out that one.
Profile page.
And okay, I gave a bad example. Please check out the profile page of anybody else except you. For example, Claudie Bougan. I think the database seeded some contributions on which your profile commented on. Okay, too late.
Oh.
You check out the contributions like that. Yeah, just check out any random profile. And then you have these follow buttons. And if you follow a profile, it's like following on GitHub or something. And if you click on it, you should see a loading spinner. Oh no, okay. But yeah, so when you click on that, this connection logic is called. And I think it does 3 different API requests. It's first getting the connections in order to show the button if you follow or not. Then if you click on it, it's making a post request or a patch request. It's waiting for it, and then it's querying it again for some reason. Maybe you can have a look into the file, into the respective Vuex file, because there's a lot of stuff going on just in order to set some state indicating that the promise is not yet fulfilled, and so on and so on. So this one is service follows. So follows is the connection between profiles. So it's it's the graph of all edges between user profiles, right? So here you go. You say, okay, give me all the connections with my user ID and the foreign ID, which is apparently the ID to the profile that you're currently viewing. Foreign service, I have no idea what that is. And then you have status is following and is pending. And we set that. And is pending, for example, is indicating whether the promise has fulfilled or not. So here it is not pending anymore. Can you scroll up a little bit? Where is it set to true then? Yeah, there we go. So between line 37 and the last line, the status is pending. And then we show a loading spinner on this follow button. And I just find it heavily verbose, right? And I don't want to write that code all myself. In Ember, we would just use Ember data and we would be fine. And in Vue, thankfully there's something which is called Feathers Vuex, which we can use. But right now, well, everything is done manually here. Like we have a lot of code, and we all did it ourselves, which is okay. I was asking Greg why we don't use Feathers Vuex, if there's a reason for not using it, and he told me at the time Feathers Vuex was not there, right? So the application or the code is older than this plugin. So now we can make use of it. And he said, yes, let's do it. And I did a refactoring in order to use Feathers Vuex. And you can see an example of it in services user settings. So there's another folder store/services. And there are 2 files. And this is one is using Feathers Vuex, as you can see in line number 1. Yeah, so Feathers Vuex is aware of a Feathers backend, and all you have to do is to say, well, you have users, and that's it. For example, check out the file users.js in the same folder. It's even more simple. Yeah, that's all you have to do. And then you have all the convenience methods. If you check out the documentation, you see that you have all the convenience methods, find, get, save, and so on and so on. And they all have the functionality of these pending flags that you can make use of. It's built in by default. It's already there because it follows certain conventions, and you don't have to build it yourself, and that's great. And all you have to do is to add custom behavior for your particular use case. So I was adding custom behavior to it when you click on this block button. So this block button is not making use of follows, this follows thing. It's making use of user settings, to actions in user settings in JS, especially is pending. Well, here you just say is pending, toggle blacklist, exactly. So there's an array in your user settings, which is called blacklist. There's a property called blacklist in your user settings, and this blacklist is an array of user IDs. And depending on whether or not this user ID is already included in blacklist, you add it or you remove it from the blacklist. So this one is removing it, and this one is adding it to the array. And then you say current blacklist is blacklist, and then you say committed and patch, and you're done. And nice. The rest is done automatically for you. And I think this is nice, and this is much easier to understand. And you don't have to set the pending properties all yourself. It's done in the background for you.
So this comes from this Feathers Vuex.
No, this is standard JavaScript. JavaScript on arrays in JavaScript have an includes method.
Oh, okay, and a push method.
And they have a push method as well. But this commit copy is done by Feathers Vuex, and also the patch thing. Yeah, that you can just patch, or you can save the mutated user settings object. So current here is your user settings object. So we have a user and we have a user setting, and there's a one-to-one relationship between user and user setting. I don't know why we have we have two different objects for user and user settings, but yeah, whatever. It's just like it is. And that happens if you, for example, click on block. And actually, I never tested it on another machine, so I'm a little bit curious what happens if you click on block this particular user.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to block you, man. So I don't have block from here.
Yeah, I think you have to unfollow this person.
Yeah. Blocked. You will no longer see any content by Adora Jones.
Okay, works. Yeah, and my problem is we don't have any tests for that particular thing. All of it is untested, and I would actually like to write some, I don't know, component tests or end-to-end tests. I haven't done anything like that before. I found
this. I don't know if this will be helpful, but we have the Vue.js unit testing Vue components. And it talks about, I guess it talks about the benefits of using unit tests so that you can test each component individually.
Yeah, I would like to introduce that to the front-end repository, because there are no tests. If you say yarn run test, there are 2 unit tests being executed, and that's it. You can open it in another terminal if you want. Go into the web folder and say yarn run test, and then you will see there's only 2 small tests being executed. It's not very much.
Not that I don't believe you, but might as well check it out. Yeah, cool. So I guess here web app, and we have our test folder, and yeah, so we have this avatar test dot bak. Don't know what that is.
I don't know what BAK is. I don't think that's actually a test, but the two files below that line,
Yeah.
they are tests.
Yeah, so this would be ignored probably by.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe BAK is short for backup.
Yeah. So this is okay, test from Ava that you were talking about earlier. And these these look like they're not auto-generated. This is someone wrote these tests.
Yeah, somebody has written those tests.
Yeah.
It's testing this really strange URL helper and thumbnail helper. I don't know what the point of this URL helper is after all. It's creating a URL for you, just a string based on a domain name and a port number, and apparently it's adding the port number with a colon to the string.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, okay. I have no idea where we should start, honestly. We have to integrate it somehow to Nuxt. We have to integrate it. I mean, I don't know how to make use of those component tests in Vue. We need some kind of test runner. These tests are apparently written with, let me see, they look like describe. Yeah, I think this is Mocha. So we have to translate the this code into Ava first, and then try to try to run it basically.
I know you said you already did this, but testing Vue series. Okay, we've already done this. We've done this. We have this Babel plugin and these ones here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Configuring Ava. JSDOM global.
Yeah, so JSDOM. I don't know what JSDOM is. We've seen it when Tonia was asking if we can use jQuery and Node.js. We discovered some documentation how to pass JSDOM to jQuery, like creating a window object based on JSDOM. So I guess it's like a fake browser environment for scripting, for tests and so on and stuff.
Instead of a real browser or Phantom JS.
So we definitely don't have JSDOM yet.
Okay. So that would be here in the test setup.js. Test. Setup is. We even have a test setup.js. We should, no? Helpers. I guess would be here. Yep. So we have require extension hooks already. And should I copy this comment? Do they like yeah, it looks like they like comments.
What is browser env? Can you Google browser env versus JSDOM, please?
Yeah. So it seems like it says set up browser environment. So that would be browser env for JSDOM. Simulates a global browser. Please do not recommend browser env for browser testing. Oh, this is Ava issue. Ava browser testing. Browser env. Unit testing front end JavaScript with Ava and JSDOM.
So what's the difference between browser and JSDOM?
Well, I mean, it sounds like JS DOM doesn't create a browser.
Yeah, I will also check out the documentation for it in the meantime. So JSDOM, GitHub. I'm not watching your screen right now.
Okay.
Let's do that in parallel.
It says that it's the person that created this ticket. I guess I should read more of what they say, but they said that the package uses an explicitly unsupported JS DOM anti-pattern, and it's very bad practice to recommend consumers of Ava using BrowserEnv.
Okay, fair enough. So on GitHub, BrowserEnv has 98 stars and JSDOM has 10,534 stars. So I guess we're supposed to use JSDOM.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
By the way, since we only have unit tests, which are not using any browser, whatever, can probably replace the BrowserEnv with JSDOM altogether right now.
Okay. So I'm going to just do a global search and make sure that's where that's being used.
Yes.
Just package.json, yarn integrity. So it might not even be being used. Maybe it's auto-generated.
I have no idea where this comes from, but we can. I guess it's safe to remove it. Remove it from here and remove it from the package.json, and also say something like yarn remove BrowserEnv.
What did I do? I removed it from, what is this a commit? Oh, there's a cache.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to worry about that then. Actually, that probably saved that file. Although I don't think I need to worry about it since it's a cache. Okay, so you're saying remove it from the package.json from web app, no?
So remove it from package.json. You can also say on the command line yarn remove, and then the name of the dependency you want to remove. It will automatically remove it from package.json and do a yarn install and update a yarn log file.
Nice. Cool. So if I say gst, this changes the package.json and the yarn.log. I say gd, and it was removed here. I changed that. It was removed here. And content type parser as well, which maybe is a dependency of that. Why was this JS DOM removed? Maybe BrowserEnv uses JS DOM? Because I haven't.
Yeah, probably. I can try to research a little bit if anybody removed it intentionally.
So then I would need to add. So it's not enough to just add it here to the setup, because JS DOM needs to be added with yarn probably, right?
Let me see your screen again. Where are you? Oh, you're on your browser. You say on the command, and you can say yarn remove, and then yarn add JS DOM. If JS DOM is the name of the npm package, so what's different? What's the difference between JS DOM global and JS DOM without global?
Yeah. So this one, so the one you were looking at that has 10,000 stars was JS DOM, not JS DOM global, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe take a minute to.
But on the documentation, it says JS DOM global, does it?
Yeah, I grabbed that from that unit testing, configuring Ava, from this Marcus or whatever.
Belina.
Yeah. And here was them saying, so this JS DOM global 15 open issues. Last published a year ago.
Whoa,
That's not good. 10 days ago, JS DOM.
much better.
Yeah, this is what we're looking for. So basic usage. Would I in the setup, would I just remove the global then?
I can research in the meantime what's the difference between JS DOM and JS DOM Global.
Okay, and I'll install it, JS DOM. So then you said if it's an npm package, instead of running npm install, I can just say yarn add, or is yarn install?
Yeah, yarn add means install it and add it to package.json.
Okay, so that's what I want.
And likewise, yarn remove is the opposite, uninstalling it and removing it from package.json.
Blah, blah, blah. And add JS DOM. I get a lot of these. The platform Linux is incompatible with F7s. I don't know if you get that as well.
File system events.
All right. So it says JS DOM is already in dev dependencies.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Well then, we don't
But
need.
It was upgraded.
Yeah, that's okay. No problem.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so I haven't found out what's the difference between JS DOM Global. Okay, in the README of JS DOM Global, it says JS DOM Global will inject document window and other DOM API into your Node.js environment. Useful for running in Node.js tests that are made for browsers. I guess that's bad. Yeah, so I can see it. So if you say require JS DOM Global, suddenly document and window and on all of that is something completely different. I don't like that. I find it much cleaner to import window from something and then window. You can see that window is something else. I guess we can do the same thing. Instead of using JS DOM Global, we use JS DOM and import the right and call it with the right name, like window and document if we ever need it.
Yeah.
And also, you checking out JS DOM tutorial with Vue.js, Ava something?
Yep.
Yes.
There on the
Setting up the test environment. Yes. Configuring Ava. Require JSON global.
We're setting it to set up a virtual browser environment. Makes it possible to access browser-specific APIs using JS DOM instead of a real browser environment. Okay.
Maybe I find something an alternative tutorial how to set it up without JS DOM Global, and I guess there's I would bet it's not a big difference.
Yeah, I was looking at the GitHub for JS DOM, and it doesn't seem like we need to. Oh, okay, here, const JS DOM require JS DOM. But maybe you can just do this once in the setup.js, or we need to do this on every. I think if we do this in the setup.js, then maybe we can just say this in the file that we're going to use. The latest version of JS DOM require Node.js version 8 or newer. Okay. So there's this on unit testing.
And you know what? I would just continue to write a component test and see how far we get. Because at some point, we should face some errors, right? So I would start requiring, I don't know, maybe we just follow the tutorial and see how far we get and then try to refactor it and not use JS DOM Global. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think that sounds like an idea.
I did see another tutorial about Doing Ava unit testing. Although I'm not finding it now. So yeah, I mean, this seems like, I mean, they do have the proper Vue.js documentation, but they don't use Ava. It doesn't seem like.
I'm also
So
chatting on
more
Discord right now.
You're also what? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm also inviting some people on Discord to our pair programming.
Nice.
So
Okay.
Sebastian told us he's tired. He will not join us, but I was asking someone else, Master Cuba or Armin. Okay, well then.
So the other thing is that they did differently on this setup than we have on our setup is that this plugin Babel is the same, but then afterwards they have this these plugins with the transform object rest spread.
What does it say above? What is the comment saying? Like there's a comment just below that.
Yeah. So
it's the same. It's auto-generated comment.
Setup Vue and JS. Setup Vue and JS files to be processed by, yeah, it's the same.
Okay. Well then, maybe let's skip that for now and see how far we get.
Yeah, if we see somewhere where we need to use this transform object,
then we can still add it to the configuration and see if we can somehow, yeah.
So next step, we have to tell Ava about the setup.js file.
I guess we have that already, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. That's the package.json, not for the API. Now we're going to be just working with this one, and we have Ava. No, there. So yep, yes. We have that. Yeah, that's in the helpers. Last thing we have to do before we get started with writing our first test, add test npm scripts to our package. So that we already have, right?
Yeah, but there's a script called test, and it's running Ava.
Yeah, there we go.
And Ava is, I guess it's there's a naming convention that it's by default running everything in test folder.
Yep. So using TDD to build a component. Let's build a to-do app using the TDD approach. So
yeah, we can either create a dummy component in order to verify that the test is actually running. We could instead also use an existing component. If we are lucky, everything should go fine.
Yep. So this shallow is not from Ava, it's from Vue test utils.
Yes, I know shallow from other front-end frameworks like React. So there's another shallow means render a component without
rendering the children.
Actually does.
It's without rendering the children, so that you.
Yeah, right. Right. Exactly. Shallow renders just the component, not its children.
Yeah. So if you have a button that doesn't render properly, for example, then you don't fail the whole test, and then you have to debug why the whole test is failing. So we're gonna create a components folder, and then inside that folder, we're gonna create a file. And what's the name of the component that we're gonna test?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I would like to test the components that I changed. However, I think there are so many dependencies in the components, it's actually hard to test. Maybe you can check out what's the component. If you go into the contribution and you click on the top right on this chain wheel symbol, what's the component name for that? Yes. Can you right-click on it, say inspect?
So is there something like, I have Ember and I think I have React, but is there something similar I should be adding for Vue?
Yes. There's a Vue Inspector or Vue.js plugin for Chrome.
This is Firefox, but There probably would be as well.
There should be.
Vue.js dev tools. Oh, it's on Chrome store.
Nothing for Firefox.
Add-ons for Firefox. There we
There you
go.
go.
Okay. So then if I come here, although it's not even showing my React one, so I'm not sure if that's inspect.
Is your Hangouts window running in Firefox as well?
It only works in here we go, Vue.js. So why can't I access you? Automatic updates. Okay. So it is there.
Yeah, and I can see it as an icon in the top right browser corner.
Oh, here, there we go. So maybe can I just get rid of that? Can
Maybe you just reload it.
Next, is detected on this page. Open DevTools and look for the view panel.
Yeah, there's no view panel. Can you refresh the whole page, maybe?
Yep.
Dun-dun. No Vue.js panel. Maybe close and open the developer tools again.
There we go. Finally. Okay. Next loading. Root default HC frame. So you wanted this though, this component here, right?
I think this is having the least dependencies.
Components. Select a component to select. So where is that component?
Probably inside Nuxt.
Yeah. Page contributions. Emotion rating there. Contribution menu. BP dropdown.
Yeah, I guess that's the one.
Yeah.
It's HC contribution menu. I think the tooltips are the tooltips that will open when you click on it.
So these are components inside of the HC tooltip component?
Well, that's what I think. I haven't had so much experience with the Vue.js inspector so far.
It's nice so far. I mean, so yeah, these are the components. So if I click on that, placeholder undefined, it can render true.
Yeah, apparently they have properties and they have data.
Computed. So this HC icon is a component.
Probably.
Okay. HC icon. Where is this used? It's not used. Great.
Yeah, I think we have it in the components folder. So there's a components folder, and there's, if you go into components, there's global, and then there's elements, and then there is icon, and there's icon, and I think the name, if you click on it, icon view. Yeah, HC hyphen icon on line 8. That's the name of the component.
There we go. Oh, here. Line 8. Yeah, that's what you said. This syntax is not, there's no syntax highlighting, so I'm assuming I need to.
Yeah, if you want, you can call the Vue plugin. It should, Vue is using dedicated files which have the template, the JS behavior, and the styling in one file. So at the top, usually you have templates. Then you have the JS part, and then you have CSS styling for it, dedicated CSS styling, and that's what they have the Vue file format for. And yeah, I guess your editor needs to view component support in Atom. Yeah, I think that's it. 337 people, 337,000 people installed it already.
No, so this one I probably don't need, but okay. Anyways, not to get sidetracked on this. This is probably okay. Right. So HC icon is, there we go. That's better. So all of these with name are well, there's only one actually. Or more. Properties, choose your icon.
Yeah, so just get used to the syntax.
Yep.
Yeah, there's template, script, and style as the top level elements.
Yep. Okay. So the styling goes straight in the components file.
Yeah, they just want to put everything that is related into one file, and I think I like that. Even in Ember, we're going that path. So one of the major changes in Ember, in future versions of Ember, will be that they put the test files and the component files and the template files into one folder. So you don't have the JS files in app components and the template file in app templates components and the test files in tests components.
Yeah,
everything that's related in one folder.
One thing we were doing in React and the React mob is that we're actually, instead of putting the tests in, like there's some people who do it all at the root level, but then we were adding it into the component and the test in the same folder, which is nice. So, but this has a component HC emoji, which then has a HC icon component.
No, I think this is the name of the current you're viewing icon.view, and the name of this component is called HC icon. So if you use that component anywhere else in the code, you would say greater than symbol HC minus hyphen icon, and then properties.
Yeah,
you can see on line number 2 and 3 how you the child components of that component. So in line number 2, you have HC emoji as a child component, and similarly, you would use this component in another component as a child component.
Yeah.
And the syntax here is that you have class, and you have, for example, colon type. Okay, so that was
right.
It's gone now.
Wasn't expecting it to close that page.
Yeah, so in line number 2, you see how the syntax looks like. This colon dot type is a shorthand for that's one of the most basic shorthands for something. Type icon. I don't know. I think it's just passing icon, the string icon, to this property type. Let me check. Vue.js shorthands. Template syntax shorthands. Let me. It's vbind. Vbind is the colon shorthand syntax is for vbind. Put that in our channel. Where is it? EN discussions. Here you go. And also put that into the Hangouts window. Here you go. And while I'm on Discord, I discovered that Sebastian is telling me things. Oh yeah. No worries. Okay.
So all these places here, it's using this HC icon.
Yeah.
So, and then when these are actually rendered, like in the inspect, they appear like this, like I'm used to seeing component look.
Yeah, exactly. So what we wanted to actually test is the HC contribution menu, I guess, because I think the icons are doing fine. We could use, however, of course, we can use HC icon as a dummy component to use it in our test, and then create a test for a component test for HC icon. Why not? I guess HC icon is has really small dependencies.
Yeah. So components, new file, then the naming is no, it's HC icon like this .test.js. And then I would need to import what is it? I need to import Ava, don't I? Test from Ava, and then import test from Ava, and then I need to import JS DOM from JS DOM, maybe.
Yeah, let me also double check that in parallel.
Import test from Ava, and then maybe this shallow, because we don't want to. I mean, in this case, there's no child.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Let's just use shallow. If he's using shallow, let's basically just do the same thing. Yeah, in the tutorial you have shallow, then you import test obviously, and the component itself. So you say import to do from, and then you give a relative path to your component file. And what are they doing? It's const wrapper shallow to do. So they shallow mount the component, and then they just expect the wrapper is div, whatever is means. Well, let me Google it. So you're you're watching the tutorial, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you can just do the copy paste thing, and in the meantime, I'm researching what is shallow, and especially what does it mean if you say is, like this means this must be some kind of assertion.
Okay, so it's not. We're not going to import to do. We're going to import HC icon, and although where is the? So yeah, okay. Interesting. So they don't use camel case. So we're starting with an empty to do dot view component. So in this case, I would need to import icon, I think, because the actual file is called icon.view.
Yeah.
And then I would need to say icon here. And that's up one level, up another level in the source, in the components. So that should be right. And then it should render n div. That doesn't seem like proper English. That should be a div. So it's not gonna do. It's gonna do icon. And icon has a div though. That would be different, right? Or they all will render divs.
I'm not looking at your screen right now. I'm looking at the documentation of view test utils.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm kind of speaking to myself, just trying to get an idea of. Yeah, so it would render a div. That makes sense. Okay. So, and is there anything broken? So I guess it uses live reloading as well, doesn't it?
Live loading?
Yeah.
Tests? I think you have to run it from the command line. I don't think there's no. I don't think it has a web front at all.
I was just thinking that if I made some syntax error, that it would have a compiling error.
Well, if you watch it through your if you make a change to a component file. Require is not a function. Huh?
The exception. So it's complaining at the setup. Setup. It doesn't like this here. Let's go back to the error message because I just looked for a second. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Is there a reason it has that? Did I just copy it incorrectly or something? Where's the to here? No, they do have a extra. So this doesn't have a. None of these have semicolons after them, but that shouldn't have anything to do with why getting a compiling error.
Oh yeah, and the whole documentation, I cannot find an example explaining what is wrapper.is. Okay, I give up now. I'll watch your screen again.
So it's saying that require is not a function.
No way. I mean, it's require is used in line number 1.
Yeah, that's true. It is. But it's not used with the extra parentheses that
Yeah.
This was used with. So I just removed that. And
what did they say in the tutorial? They say in the tutorial they use.
So 2 pass this time.
Yeah. Okay. So I see. Yeah, that makes sense because we are requiring in JSDOM, and JSDOM doesn't export a function by default. You know how ES6 import statements work?
Not really, no.
So if you're requiring JavaScript files, you have this module exports thing. And the new syntax of doing those exports is that you have named exports. You can say export, then whatever you want to export. And later on, you can say import, and then curly braces, and the name whatever you exported. So that's the named import. And there's always a default import. That means if you say import without curly braces, just a name, that will always refer to the default export of a JavaScript file. In this case, we are saying require JSDOM. That's equivalent of using the default export. And if you add the parentheses after it, that means that you expect that the default export is a function, and you can call it. But JSDOM does not export a function because it's not JSDOM global, and JSDOM global does export a function. So let's use JSDOM global because it's closer to the tutorial.
Okay.
Or otherwise, actually, there's in the Vue test utils have examples how to set up.
I'm here on the Vue test because we don't have the module Vue test utils. It says in the test.
Yeah, I share a link on Discord and in the Hangouts window. Here you go, and this one is it has on the same page. Aren't you?
Maybe I'm here on the GitHub page.
No, that's Vue test utils, but they have examples for Ava.
Oh, do they? Oh, here we go. Example with Ava.
One. Yeah. So let's just check out what do they have in the server helper.
For detailed explanation, check out the guide.
No, I would check out the source code of this repository.
Oh, okay.
Let's see where they have the server helper or test helper or whatever. This is in source. I would go into the folder test.
Yeah. Okay. Test. Test. Specs.
Helpers? No, helpers.
Setup.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh, browser inf. And can you check out the issue list maybe? Okay. They are using browser env. Okay, now I'm confused. Shall we use browser-env? Shall we use JSDOM global, or shall we use JSDOM? What is okay, let's see. Browser-env. When was this updated the last time? So JSDOM global was updated 1 year ago.
Yeah, so
Browser-env,
stay clear of that.
latest comment February the 6th. So it has been a while. It's a little bit more recent browser-env.
But the most recent is JSDOM and also has the most stars, no?
Yeah. Well, okay, then just to require, okay, as far as I can tell, in the server, in this server helper, apparently we are requiring globals, and which we don't want to require in the Ava test files. Can you show me the server helper once more, and let me just guess what's going on there? So we are saying const hook require extension hooks, and then we require JSDOM plugin push plugin whatever.
So I think the only issue we have right now, I mean, we have this decision to make, I guess, but the issue we have right now is that we're trying to shallow render something that we don't have this view test utils.
Oh yeah, we definitely need view test utils.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna add that, and then we go back to this. Okay, cool.
Maybe add it to the development dependencies. So you can add --- That will add it to the development dependencies. Oh, too late. It doesn't matter. We can change it later. It's fine. Yeah. So what happens if you say yarn run test now?
So window is undefined. View test utils needs to be run in a browser environment.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah. So JSDOM has the properties window, document, and so on. So if you on line 3, if you would just say require JSDOM and then dot window, no, the other one, setup.js.
Yep.
In on line 3, if you would have dot window here, all right? So that would be similar to if you would say import curly brace window ending curly brace from right?
Yep.
And I wonder what happens if you would indeed say import window from JSDOM in the test file. So yeah, please revert the change in setup.js. Yeah, remove that one and remove JSDOM from the test file, just window. But I mean, this is nice because we can go step by step. We now know, okay, window needs to be defined. So we import window, and suddenly we have, yeah, window something. I don't know if that works after all, but let's see.
Oh.
No, window is still undefined. You can run the test in Node using JSDOM plus JSDOM global. Okay, fine. Then this doesn't work. I mean, we're not injecting window into something, right? So how would it work? It cannot work. Then I would say let's remove line number 2. No, that's not gonna work.
I was wondering if you import JSDOM global.
Now we have to add it as a parameter somehow before we can fix this failure. I mean, you can watch the stack trace. You can follow along the stack trace if you want to know where is it undefined, like where is window undefined, and we have to insert or inject window in there somehow.
Yeah. Okay, so browser-env or
either that one. Yeah, browser. I would say browser-env because it's a little bit more recent than JSDOM global, and it was there before.
Yeah. And this was like that. because that's going to be exporting.
And in the meantime, I'm not watching your screen again, but instead I'm trying to find out how can we use JSDOM without using JSDOM Global with view testing.
So that is like that. So this is weird because it seems like BrowserEnv does use JSDOM because they're making reference to it in many different places.
Yeah, that makes sense because JSON Global uses it's somehow patching the environment and making window available in a Node.js environment, right? So
Yeah.
we just discussed that window is not available in Node.js if you, for example, run an Env fastboot. And document, window, console, these are all globals. They're not available. And JSON Global does some kind of magic in order to patch something in the background, and suddenly window is not undefined. I don't know how it works and how we can do it, how we can patch it without doing something invisible in the background.
So in it, you require it, and now you have access to a browser-like environment in Node.js, so you can say type of window.
Okay, I give up. I'll watch your screen again. Yeah, this makes sense. So require BrowserEnv, and then you call that function, and suddenly window is defined.
So I need to call this function in our test.
No. All you have to do is to call require BrowserEnv, and then call whatever exports. You're in the test helper. You see that? Do you see the call of require BrowserEnv?
Yeah, this I already did.
This is the require statement requires a function, and then the function is called immediately, and that makes window.
Yeah.
That does something and suddenly window is not undefined anymore.
So they say you can specify window if you want to, like, not have set timeout or console. But then I don't. Yeah, I'm. Why do they keep putting this type of window, type of document? This is just showing you what's happened when it's calling this function.
Yeah, it's the example.
Okay.
It says now you have access to a browser-like environment.
Yeah. And then they say you can, of course, assign it to a function by saying like variable BrowserEnv, and then you can call the browser.
Yeah, it's equivalent. It's just what we did.
Or you can do this. So I would need to import this BrowserEnv as well.
But yeah, it's still the same stuff. It's not. I would expect that, for example, we can pass JSDOM or window imported from JSDOM into the shallow function, right? So the shallow function is somehow calling window internally, right? So when you call shallow on line number 7, this is internally somehow calling the global window object.
Yeah.
And then everything fails. And if we've patched window before we run shallow, then we are safe.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Armin.
Hello, Armin.
Yeah, there we are. So I asked Armin if he want to join us, and hope your English is okay. In any case, you can always listen to us. It's great. So we are already broadcasting. So this is going to be live.
Okay.
Yeah, Armin also shared us his webcam. He's there.
I think.
A little dark. Nice. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. We're Matt and we're Robert, and it's Armin. Armin has just joined us. Armin, you're currently living in Baden-Württemberg, right? Next to,
yes, in Karlsruhe.
I think in Karlsruhe, right?
Yes.
Nice. And Matthew is joining us from Brazil.
Ah, okay. Hi, Brett. Hi,
Matt.
Matt.
Hey,
Yeah. Maybe you can stop screen sharing once and just say hello and wave your hand.
sorry. I'm being rude.
Hi. Okay. I don't know. What are you doing? You showing the application?
Yeah, first of all, Matt is waving his hand. Hi. Also, I will do the same. Hi. What we're trying to do is to add more tests to the front-end repository. So
Okay.
they are in the front-end test so far, and we wanted to change that. And in order to do that, currently Matt is the driver. And he's screen sharing again, yes. And we're trying to get our head around the testing in Vue.js. So apparently it is, we have this shallow method in a test case, which is rendering a component without its child components.
Okay.
So we have, for example, icon imported from on line number 5 from source, components, and icon, and that's a Vue.js component. We can render it. We can shallowly render it on line number 8, and then expect that I cannot read it yet, but I think this reads like the wrapper has a div element, and that's it.
Is a div, yeah.
Okay.
Or is a div? Yeah, I think
Oh.
it is a div. So the parent, the top level nodes would be a div. So maybe that's what it says. I don't know.
So is this element a div or what?
Well, we expect it to be a div. We can see if it is actually a div. Maybe, Matt, can you show us the template?
Yeah, the template. So the template doesn't look like it's a div, but it's rendered by the DOM as a div. So it just has here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the top level element would be, yeah, good question actually.
No, it is a div. I think it is a div. The templates are rendered in a div. It's wrapped around.
So where is here?
There we go.
Contribution menu, though that is not the one we're testing.
One, but at least it's a div. And
Drop down trigger. So this is the icon.
so it's not a div, it's an I.
It's not a div.
But
Okay.
I mean, fair enough. We should see a nice error message then.
Yeah, although we're getting this cannot find module browser env.
Oh yeah, because we just removed it, right? You have to install it again. Yeah, we were wondering if there's a more cleaner way to do it. So have you heard about Armin? Shall we call you Armin or Mastercube? I guess Armin is better.
Yeah, Armin is okay.
Have you heard about our globals in JavaScript?
Globals?
Yeah.
Yes. But normally for testing they are not very good. I heard that if you want to have good testable code, then you should avoid using globals.
Yes, exactly. And especially, so globals are, let's say, global variables that you can use anywhere. And in JavaScript, there are particular globals with a dedicated meaning, especially window and console and document, navigator, right? And apparently Shallow is making use of window, right? So we have to patch window before we call Shallow. Otherwise, we'll run into undefined Windows undefined or something like that.
We have no window object here.
Yes, exactly. On line number 8, we are shallowly rendering this icon component, and that will, if we do that, we'll run into the error. Maybe Matt, can you just run the test without browser.env and see what happens?
Yeah. So if I remove this, maybe, or it was getting to the point where it wasn't finding the module icon.
Yeah. Okay. So this is another error. We have to fix that one first. So maybe it's one level above.
So it's stepping up one level to components, then stepping up one level to test.
Then maybe one level more, and then into source. src. Yeah, I think you have to go one. And then components.
I think so.
There's no folder src, so you just have to replace src. And I think you have to go one level up.
Yeah.
You can also try that one, but I think this will also result in the cannot find the component. And also inside components, I think we have a global folder and then elements, and then we have the icon.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Local elements, and then icon is something.
And then there's an icon folder and an icon file. But we need to say
that's icon/icon.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, let's try that. I guess we still have to go one level up, but let's see.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. And it says it's not a div.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Value is not true.
Very cool. That's awesome. That's crazy.
If the test fails, okay.
Yeah. We want red first, you know. If we get green, it's not confiável. It's not trustworthy.
Awesome. Just for educational purposes, can you show what happens if you remove the call of browserinf from this setup helper? So there's one file that is evaluated before we run any test case, and that's this one. So if you don't call browserinf, then we will run into undefined Windows undefined. There we go. So Windows undefined. That means this shallow method, which is rendering the component, or I don't know if it's actually rendering it, but it's doing something with the component, is internally using window. And we have to patch it somehow before we execute the test case. So that's why we have a dependency called browserinf. And we call this browserinf plugin or library is exporting a function, and we call that function. As you can see, or as you could saw, because Matthew has closed the file.
Yeah.
So after require browserinf, you see the parentheses indicating that we are calling a function here. And then that's the point. So after that, we have Windows not undefined anymore. Armin, are you still with us, or have we lost you? I think you're freezed, so I cannot hear you anymore, and your webcam also stopped. Yeah, I think you have some connection problems. Maybe you will join us again. Guess.
I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm typing into Discord. Probably some connection issues. Just join us again. Right. So let's start. Let's continue on. I mean, it's awesome that we have this error message now.
I changed it actually to an anchor.
Yeah, it's not an anchor. It's an I. Like, what is I?
Oh yeah, true. It's inside of an anchor.
HTML,
but it's actually an I.
What does I mean?
I means icon, no?
Icon?
I think so. Because we use for our or maybe I'm wrong. Because I know you use for all kinds of different icons when you're doing like like there you go, 3 passed.
Yeah, iTag defines a part of a text in an alternative voice or mood. What? iTag can be used to indicate a technical term, a phrase, whatever. That means italic. What? So apparently standard HTML defines I as italic. Here I'll put that into the Hangout.
Oh, nice. So it's used for icons, but it doesn't. The I doesn't actually stand for icon.
Oh, apparently not. So I would say it's a rather abused than used for icons.
Cool. So now we have kind of a dummy test? I mean, is there I don't know. I mean, is there a reason for us to go through and test all of the components render?
Sorry, I was not paying attention. Can you say that again?
I was saying, like, I called this a dummy test, and then I was asking if there's any reason for us to go through and actually test that all of the components render.
I mean, it's amazing that we have it. I mean, we have the tester. But first of all, please commit that file. It's not no problem to have an obsolete like a dummy test. I don't think that's any problem at all. First, could you just add that one, like have a basis where you can continue on from? So we added browser-env.
Should I remove JS DOM? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if you remove JS DOM and the JS DOM is transitively imported from JS DOM global, I guess it's still in the yarn log file. We can try it out. Just do yarn remove JS DOM and see if it's still in the yarn log file. I guess it is, because it's imported or is required by another dependency, which is browser-env.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about.
And in the meantime, you can maybe compare JS DOM global with browser-env.
So, okay, we've added browser-env. We've added view test utils. We've removed browser-env. Oh, because we upgraded browser-env in the process of removing it. Then we've removed JS DOM. We removed the comment. I guess I'm going to add that comment back, even though it's not. I think it's kind of self-explanatory with a name like browser-env, but set up browser.
Okay, so if I type in browser-env versus JS DOM global, I don't get any results on Google immediately. So I'm now going into the GitHub repository and checking the package JSON of browser-env and whether it's importing JS DOM from somewhere.
AWS is Amazon, no?
So the dependencies of browser-env is window. So apparently browser-env is not using JS DOM at all. Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I'm watching the screen again.
Yeah, I was just asking, like, I'm noticing that this dependency AWS 4 was added, and AWS that I know of is Amazon. I wonder if that's like an open source package of Amazon.
npm.js, AWS. Let's see. Always good to question the pulled in dependencies.
Yeah, no.
AWS, Amazon AWS wrapper. Really? No way. How does it go into our dependency list?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of things.
I don't think this is necessary, honestly. Here you go. Yeah, well, let's question that for later, maybe. There will be some reason why we added the... Oh, one way of doing it is also you just revert the yarn log file. Just have it... Hi, Armin. Good that you're back.
Yeah, sorry, I had some resource issues with my PC. When I opened IntelliJ, then yes, it was too much for my PC. So now I closed all other programs. So yeah, sorry.
No problem. Yeah, we were currently asking ourselves why we have AWS as a dependency now. Apparently, this is a wrapper for Amazon.
Amazon, okay.
Yeah, maybe Matt, maybe you can just check out yarn log. So that should revert the changes made to yarn log, and just run yarn install again, and then see what happens. You didn't commit anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so check out yarn log. We'll bring it. We'll reset it to the state of the develop. If you say yarn install, that will update yarn log file, and I'll get another drink.
Okay. Okay, so that's worked. And if I say JST, that has the yarn.lock. And then if I say get difference, then remove date URLs. Okay. Remove JS DOM.
That's much.
And yeah, so that okay. Well, that there was a lot of dependencies that were there before that that are not there now that we did that. So not sure what's going on with that. But it wasn't just at AWS. There was like 15 or 20 of them. Like if I go back.
This AWS for what is it? For testing.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. That he was saying it was a wrapper for Amazon wrapper. But like if I come up here, there's this no, what you gonna encoding view, no. There's like tough cookie UUID. There's this request, I think is still there, maybe QS, PSL, OAuth sign, MIME types, MIME-DB.
Okay.
HAR validator, form data.
Okay.
Yes, code.
I don't know really exactly any dependency. So
yeah, that's weird. But anyways, so and this is the AWS 4 is the one we were having a look at.
But I think that's a bit weird for testing AWS.
Yeah. So,
did it change anything so far? Like
yeah, so in here this last time there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, a bunch of different dependencies that had been added. And then when I ran that command you gave and ran it again, like tough cookie, all this kind of stuff. Then when I ran it again, now you can see the changes are much like it did delete the data URLs. Not sure if we're using that for anything. But it only added the view test and also deleted the what WG MIME type.
Okay.
Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I should probably run the tests again to make sure we're still in green. Although we should be, right? Yeah, still in green. And now if I look at that and git add everything, git commit, and say add test dependencies and dummy test. Then I can push that up to origin. Let me just check my origin to make sure. I think I just have origin set up. Yeah. Forget push or minus u origin blacklist
feature.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then I can pull it and know on which. Where are you?
This is in the web app.
Oh, is it in another repository? Web app. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, human connection because there's 2 repos. And Robert, I don't have permissions to push there. I guess. Is Robert back yet? No.
For free.
So in the meantime, I will try to go here to human connection and web app and change this to SSH. So Git remote remove origin and git remote add origin and add the SSH. And git remote -e. Okay, cool. Hey, Robert, I don't have permissions to push the branch.
Oh, that's actually very sad because I don't have. I don't think I have administrative right to give you the permissions to do it. So I guess you have to create a fork.
Okay. Permission denied.
Yeah, I don't think I can give it to you. I can double check it, but I don't think I have the admin power to do so.
Okay.
Let me check. In the meantime, you can go to GitHub, create a fork, add a remote, and so on and so on. Yeah, I don't have the settings tab, so that means I'm not allowed to add more collaborators to the repository.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I have a fork, and then I'll add upstream. Git remote add upstream, and then there. Git push -u upstream. Looks like they should be renamed. Actually, git remote remove origin. Git remote rename stream. Oh wait, yeah, origin. And then git remote -v. Okay, so that's there. Git push origin blacklist. Okay, that's pushed up. Then
And
I will.
pushed it. Shall we switch the driver maybe?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that sounds like a sensible thing to do.
Okay, I can pull your fork, and then I can clone your fork, and then I can take the driver.
Yes, please. So
Awesome.
Matthew's name on GitHub is Matt.
Yeah, I
RAT.
have the URL.
And can you maybe share your screen?
You're fast.
One moment. I just need a folder.
Cool.
How was it with screen sharing?
It's on the left-hand side, I think.
I think this one.
Yes, you're screen sharing, although your font size now is really small. So you have two screens.
I disable the one, the left screen. I think
Yeah,
it's better.
How I do it. No, you still have both screens on the
Okay.
screen.
One moment. Come on. Yeah, that's resources. That's a very old computer. 10 years old now.
Wow, still going.
Wo war das jetzt?
So,
Display.
also auf Deutsch. Weiß ich nicht. Vielleicht schaust du mal.
Hintergrund, oder? Nein, Display war das doch. Wo war das?
Was ist denn das für ein Betriebssystem? Linux Mint, ne?
Ja. Nee, nicht Mint, Kali Linux. Einzelner Bildschirm hier.
Ah, genau.
Und ja.
Nice. So, black screen, but yes. Okay, there we go.
Brauche ich bloß, okay.
Beibehalten.
Nee, ich muss das Ding, ich brauche den anderen Bildschirm.
Ah, okay, the wrong one.
Und ich muss dich erstmal darüber ziehen.
If that helps, you can also stop the screen sharing for now and
ja, bei mir hängt gerade etwas.
Aha.
Ich sage ja, das ist nicht der neueste. Okay, Mist. Kannst du mal übernehmen, oder so?
Ja, klar. Okay, so I'm going to which I am going to be the driver. So when I use screen sharing, I have the same problem as you have, Armin. I am using
Me-
2 screens. And
Me
when I
too.
share both, the font size is usually too small for people to see. So I'm disabling it. I'm using, by the way, I'm using a render.
Out of
So
curiosity, Armin, are you using a Linux?
yeah, Linux Kali.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Debian
All
based,
three of us are on Linux.
but I don't see anything on one screen now. So just on the other, just on the
Oh,
left
yeah.
screen, not on the right. So it's a bit wild, but now.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I can see better. It looks like you have one screen sharing with like 3 different windows, but you presumably can maximize.
Here I can see nothing, so that's frozen for me.
Ah,
Oh, no.
No. Okay, I think I should restart my computer. So,
Oh, no problem. See you later then.
yeah, sorry.
No problem. No problem. No problem at all. Yeah, in the meantime, let me search for Matt's fork.
Yep.
18. What does 18 mean? Oh no.
I don't know. To be honest, I think with I don't know. To be, I don't even remember. I was thinking that it had something to do with 2018, but then I don't think so. I think maybe it was just there was already some Matt WRs, and maybe the first one maybe it was like an auto suggested username that I picked, and now I've just kind of used for everything. It seems like it's better if it has some story related to 2018, but
You added it to the Blacklist feature branch, right?
yes. So I guess maybe I'm not sure if you're doing it on purpose, but the screen you're sharing with me is the. Oh, never mind. Sorry. The. I was looking at my own screen instead of yours.
Nice. Works. Awesome.
Hey.
Oh, let's see if we can.
Do
Where
something
is
a
it?
little neater now.
Isn't it supposed to be in here?
It's in components. Test components.
Test?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a components folder there. Let me just make sure it's not in the wrong place. Where is this? Yeah, test/components/HC icon. It says I have nothing left to. Where is the?
Ah, I did the wrong remote.
Oh, okay. But you still have 3 passing tests? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. There you go. This is yours.
Yep.
What
Ember.
the heck? We're in Ember. Okay. That's components. Good. Test components.
Still not there.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And
here
it
we
was
go.
in the wrong folder. Yeah, I do have a folder called Human Connection, which has both the API and the web as submodules. Apparently, I was in the wrong one. Anyhow, it's okay.
Yeah.
So let's create a new file. I would like to mimic or like to mirror the directory layout of the components in the test. So what I'm going to do now is to create components, global element,
Oh, yeah.
icon. So test components.
Do you know of a way that you can avoid using, what is it, like relative path? Because now, like, you're going to get into a place where you're going to have to like do dot dot forward slash dot dot forward slash dot dot forward slash. You
Yeah,
know?
there is tilde.
Yeah, so I can do that, and I did that
So
with
this is a feature of Webpack. So this is the home folder. Let me see.
just like in
Works.
one, two, 3, 4, 5, because you're gonna need to do 5 of them.
Yeah. Let's see. Ta-dun. Well, that sucks.
This Webpack is something that we already have on the project.
Well, I think it's introduced internally by Nuxt.js.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So there's always a particular file called Nuxt config.js. And where do I have to put it? Into build. Build, extend. Here we have helpers. And likewise, I guess we can, for example, how about that? Oh. Okay, but does components work? I mean, it's still the same thing here, right? Tilde components should be the same. What a bummer. Nuxt.js Java import Webpack. I mean, we can, for now, we can also just add a lot of
Yeah, dots and forward slashes.
yeah.
It's 5 of them. I mean, I guess I could look in the background for.
I use the not, okay. So you said it's 5 of them.
Yeah, I think so. Oh well, I counted twice, but if it fails again, then you can blame my poor counting skills.
Yeah. Sizes. Size view. Let's delete it for now. Okay, now it's passing. Move test.
Hi again.
Hey.
Hey.
The second and hopefully last time. Now IntelliJ is open. The one browser window is open. The repo is cloned, so hopefully it's now okay.
Nice.
Yeah, if you want, you can become the driver immediately. Do you want to?
Okay.
So let me just push it to. Okay. Do we have permissions to your fork, Matt?
No, I can give that to you.
So
Yeah, please add me, and I think your name on GitHub is called MasterCuber.
Yep, MasterCuber.
I can show it to you. So I'm currently sharing my screen, right? So it's come on.
1 second. Should be there.
MasterCuber. Here. I put the link to his GitHub name in his window. Yeah, and I mean, if you want, you can immediately go ahead and share your screen. I'll wait for Matt and push my commits.
Master Cuber. I already added you, Robert.
Okay, so then in the test folder, I have to go in the test folder, I think.
Okay. And I've added you as well.
I can push to your remote, Matt.
Yep. You're good to go.
Which is the right folder?
Yeah,
Remote
yeah.
rejected. Failed to push some references to Matt WR18.
Oh, you need to. Sorry, you need to accept the. You need to accept the invitation. I just shared it on the chat.
Okay.
Oh, you have to do the same thing, MasterCuber. You have to click on the link that Matt has provided us.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the same link, but the second one is for you, MasterCuber.
The second one was 404.
Same link.
Yeah. The other thing is I can't see your screen, Armin. If you wanna, I don't know if you're sharing or not.
I think it's sharing. Isn't
No,
it?
it's not.
No.
No.
No, it is sharing. Yes.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
The second link, it goes for 404.
Oh, okay. Have you invited MasterCuber to the repository, Matt?
Yes, I have, but maybe I thought I.
We have to go on GitHub.
Link, but I shared it again.
You're signing up. You have to click on. Yeah. Yeah, if you click on the invitation link now, you will get access to the repository. There you go.
Okay.
And now you can. I will push to Matt WR18 blacklist feature, and oh, it's not working. So I just push to the remote, and you can clone or add another remote. Matt has shown you how to do it. So you click on this clone button on GitHub, and on the terminal you can say git remote add.
Mm-hmm. So I do it with the IDE.
Oh yeah, or just do it with the IDE.
So just the branch I just had, the repository I cloned already.
Web app Matt. Okay, I see it. And are you on blacklist feature branch?
No. Okay, no.
Cool. Yeah, but can you pull it once more? Because apparently
Yes.
my changes have been.
Okay.
There we go. So now it's in the subfolders. So the directory layout reflects the directory layout of the components folder.
Okay. So here, okay. So now we have it's working already. The test.
Yeah, this test case is working. You can verify that and run yarn run test on your terminal in web app after you install the dependencies, of course.
Okay. So, but we had already an element in here, but it said it is not a div.
Yes,
It was an iTag.
exactly. By the way, according to the HTML standard, just means italic. It's not icon. It's
I know.
I didn't.
Really? Okay.
Oh.
So B for bold and I or strong for bold.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times for icons that I was thinking it's actually in the standard that means icon, but it's just abused for the icon. Yeah.
Yeah, I know I know it from where you sent me a link for the W3 school. So there I know it also from the knowledge for the web development. I very sehr häufig.
Very
Heavy,
often.
I very heavily take it from the W3 school.
Yeah, I see. That's where your knowledge comes from.
Yeah, that's really good. A good website, I think. So
it's a good resource. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
I still haven't found that. I'm still looking for the tilde configuration thing.
What do you mean?
Yeah, how to...
Sorry. We are trying to instead of using a bunch of those .. / / 5 times, we're trying to...
Yeah, on line 3 in your file that you currently viewing, you see a lot of .. /
Okay.
And we want to get rid of that and just say, okay, code, go to the parent folder. Go to the home folder, like the project folder, and then from there go to components, globals, elements, icon.
Okay. Yeah. That's with a tilde.
Oh, yeah, that works. It's a special feature of Webpack, and it doesn't work apparently for running the tests. We'll get there eventually. We can make a mental list of things we want to improve, and also maybe refactor that one later.
Okay.
So right now,
but for now,
I would actually like to test more of the components that we had in this blacklist feature branch, because I added logic and behavior without writing tests for it, and we're doing it the wrong way now. We had the implementation first and adding the tests later, but it's still better than having no tests at all. And right now we don't have any tests at all. And I added behavior to the follow button component, and I added behavior to the what was it called? HC contribution menu component. And I think, yeah, and I also added a completely new page. The page where you can unblock user accounts.
Okay. And that you want to test now?
Yeah, maybe it would help you to see it in action before you go and write tests.
Okay.
Start if you just boot it up and start the application, you have to be in Blacklist feature branch in both the backend and the web app.
Yeah, just have the front end, but I have another Blacklist feature, and there I can run the API.
All right. You have different folders for different branches?
Yes, that's one of your branch. It was your branch to test, so I made a new folder for it.
Oh, well, okay.
So maybe it's yeah, I will remove it later. You know?
Yeah, up to you, of course. I find it I find Git by now. I'm so familiar with Git. I'm just switching from branch when I want to check out new code. Yeah, did you install other dependencies already?
I think yes.
Why do you have to get admin privileges to run Yarn?
I don't know, but I always had to do it. So
can you type in which Yarn in another terminal?
Moment.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. So you installed Yarn with your package manager, and you installed it system-wide. So it's good if you use your package manager because yeah, why not? However, those applications that are installing dependencies, that is other package managers like Yarn, npm. For Ruby you have RubyGems, and for Python you have pip. Those will also try to install dependencies into a system-wide folder, and then you need admin privileges.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that you can do that later. That you install Yarn only for your current user, and Yarn will then install dependencies into your home folder, for example, where you have user permissions.
Yeah.
And then you will not be asked for your sudo password all the time.
Yeah, I will not be asked just for running this application. For running the API and the web app, I need, but for adding some package or some dependencies to the project, I don't need root rights.
Oh, fair enough. At least.
So it's okay.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, so you're in the US. You can run the Blacklist feature branch in the web app folder, the web app folder that you just checked out. So you can run it, for example, here. Yes, exactly. You run Yarn run dev, and check out the application. And you can now blacklist contributions. That's fine. Oh no,
not good. Or what was it?
You can copy the
this here the environment. I have no environment.
Yeah, you can copy env.example to .env. And that's it. This should be it.
Yeah.
No, that's not the right thing. You wanted. Did you copy env.template to env instead of env.example?
Yes. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, you can blacklist other user accounts on the contribution page, and you can blacklist other user accounts on the profile page. And on your own profile page, you have a new setting we can say we can go through all already blacklisted profiles and unblacklist them, for example.
Okay. So you have a new list where you can see who you have blacklisted or not.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
that's
can,
the settings.
yes, and can unblacklist them, and you can blacklist someone and
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
3,000, not 300.
Okay. Well, then let's try it. Well, it will work. Hopefully it will work.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. It is possible that this is related to the recent refactoring of Feathers Vuex. So if you hit refresh now and see, just hit refresh and see if you're logged in. There we go. So this is like, this is maybe a bug that we have to research or investigate a little bit, because I was experiencing that. Before, and I think this is related to the refactoring of the authentication flow. Yeah, this is the block button. I have to talk with Greg about the styling of the block button, because it's very prominent. It's super huge. I guess we don't want it to be that big.
Yeah, I also think not so big, because if it is so, the focus is on the blocking, and that's not good.
No, that's not that's not good at all.
Yeah.
You're trying.
They want to follow each other. No.
Why don't you block this person for no reason?
So maybe a bit smaller than follow also, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, but I blocked him or her, and now we can look at my profile and see the list. Oh,
no, that's on the settings. Sorry, it's not under your profile. It's actually on the settings. And there's Sperrliste, which is which was the So it's just a list of people that you already blocked, and you have to click on them and unblock them again.
Okay. I think what would be nice if we would hear when you hear where a little button where you can directly unblock them, you know.
Exactly. I was thinking about that, and I was just being more. Yeah, we can add that if we need it. I mean, the feature, the functionality is you want to be able to unblock people, and that's possible, because you get to the profiles that you already blocked, and this is everything you need. The profile pages will not be blocked, like the profile pages itself. You just have to get on those profile pages somehow in order to unblock them. So I guess this is enough in order to fulfill the feature. Although, as I said, maybe we can improve it a little bit and have unblock buttons on the settings list.
Yeah, I think it would be okay, and I don't think it's much time, or so.
And we'll see. We'll see. I'm more interested into having the tests set up. We can do the lists thing, the button per list item later on, I would say. Less code is always better.
So yeah, and then let's go to the tests.
Exactly, and you missed the contribution block behavior. So there's one this chain wheel icon on the contribution where you can also block contributions of that user.
Where you mean?
Yeah, you click on the contribution, any contribution, and then there's a chain wheel symbol on the top right corner. If you click on, for example, add Sund, no, the contribution, there's the different tiles are contributions, and you can click on them, and this will bring you to the contribution page. And there's this chain wheel icon at the top, and you can say block author. And then this contribution will be blocked for you. So there's a little glitch because you're currently blocking this contribution, but if you click on, if you refresh the page, it's just gone because it will give you a 404. There you go.
Okay.
Right. So we have to think about that one if we actually want this, or if it will be a better behavior of if you just click on block and then you get redirected immediately. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
But what I think, if you block the author, then the contribution is blocked. Just the contribution.
I see. So you would only block one contribution?
Yeah, I don't know. I just heard you said once the author, but here's the author is blocked, but the author would be this behavior, I think.
Yeah. So if you click on auto blockieren, that means block all contribution, including this one, by this author.
Block the author.
Block the author. Yes.
So this is this behavior, I think. So
yes, it's the same.
It's yeah. I just thought when you click this one, then just this contribution.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently we have a problem here because what you're currently thinking is probably it's very likely that other users are going to think that too.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you typically when you have that type of behavior, it's like hide this post or something, not block author. You know.
Yeah. That I thought first.
So maybe we should put the block button not there, but on the left side next to the author name. You can see the author on the top left corner, right?
Yeah.
So shall we add a button next to that?
But I think that would focusing on blocking. If it's directly under contribution, directly beneath it, or
yeah, I mean, you could add something
decided.
Instead. Like you could add one list item to the that gear drop down that says like hide instead have block author, but then is that betrag activieren? Is that like to hide the post?
No, that's only for admin users or moderators. So
okay.
betrag activieren means activate contribution or activate post. I don't know what that actually does. I think it's a scheduled or a draft post, something like that. Maybe, I don't know. It's invisible for ordinary users. So Armin just authenticated with a moderator user.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would be maybe less code and less less going on the page if you just added one more list item to that drop down.
So for blocking this contribution.
Yeah, like hiding it, I guess.
Or hiding, yeah. I don't know. I
mean, it's semantics what you call it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because blocking someone is different than hiding.
Yeah. That's right.
Like you can. I don't know what it exactly would say, but I don't want to see this post or hide post or something like that.
The hide post that would, I think, okay.
I mean, maybe that's something though. Like, if we want to get caught up on the test, since we're doing like normally we would do TDD, and in this case we didn't do. So maybe we could write the test for the functionality that we have, and then maybe a good test to drive the development. That could be a maybe something that we could write the test first.
But you're pointing out something very important. I was about to say let's write the test for that component. But
I want.
You pointed out that actually this is not a good user experience because we would expect to block the contribution, not the author, because it's in the contribution page. I would even consider to remove the drop-down item from there, right? Maybe we don't want to block contributions at all, and people have to go to the authors page in order to block authors, because the feature, the blacklist feature, absolutely requires people to block people, so user accounts. It doesn't make a lot of sense if you. So of course you could block contributions, but then you would have to block contributions all over again. The reasoning behind the blacklist feature is you want to block trolls. So you've read 3 contributions from a user and you think, this guy, I really don't like this guy. I don't want to see any contributions by this person anymore. And then you want to block the author because you don't want to see future contributions by this author.
Yes. But you don't want to block contributions.
Yeah, so I added it here, not knowing or not being aware of that it's not good user experience here. It's we are blocking the author, not the contribution. So maybe we just remove it from there.
Yes, I think that's right.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I'd have to think about it more. But I at the same time, I think that if I've just got done reading the 3rd contribution from this person that I'm like, can't believe this person's political stance, whatever, blah, 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 and I want to block them. Like, if you think about user experience from other sites, like you do have an option to hide a post that you don't want to see that particular post, which would, okay, that maybe that's a different feature than blacklist. But then you do also have like a place that's maybe not block the person, but unfollow the person. I'm not sure, or block the person. Because if you need to go to the person, like if you really don't want to see something from a person, like why would you need to go visit that person's page first before you can block them? Like, going to visit their page seems like I would only visit people's pages that I actually like, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, just to give a different perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, we should think about it. It's good that we bring this up. I mean, I was kind of blind. How do you call it in English? In German, we would say berufsblind. So professional blindness. Is that actually a proper term in English, Matt?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I had, or you could say you had blinders on.
I had blinders on.
Yeah, like blinders are something that blinds you, you know, like that you use, I think you use for horses and stuff like this, you know.
Yeah,
I think you were so focused on the developing the feature, maybe, that you didn't take a step back to. But I mean, I guess like we had 2 user experiences that were different, right? Like, because when I went to, I guess my page is in English.
Yes, your page is in English.
Yeah. So when I viewed it, it was clear to me that block means block, you know? Like, I don't think there's any other use case for.
I mean,
Bitte?
Can you switch the language of the UI to English?
Yes.
There you go.
Sorry.
I think for me, like in, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how it is in Germany, but blocking someone, it only means one thing. Like, it never means anything else in any other context. Like, if you block a user, that means that you're never going to see anything from that user again because you're blocking them. You know, it's like, you know, it's something really serious that you only do to your like worst enemies, you know. I've had fallings out with people before that I don't consider friends anymore, but I would never like think about blocking them. That's like something, you know, when you want to fight someone or something, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know, maybe it's because of that.
It's really serious, so.
Yeah, maybe I can show you an example. So it's not you don't necessarily need to know the people. So I'm going to share my screen now. Also, I'm focusing the window now on my screen. I do have credentials for the Human Connection alpha version. So I'm going to show you like an example. Even though Matt, you will not be able to understand what's written there, but I guess with a little luck, we will see some troll content that people get annoyed by. Human Connection, there we go.
what really troll content?
Yeah.
Yeah, this experience. I don't know if it's similar parts, but when people are just trying to get people angry, just trying to.
So what do we have here? Like people were, people had posts, and then there were other people like, can HC just block this person? Like there was one person having like adding a lot of contributions, and then other people reacted to it by adding a contribution. Hey, HC, could you just remove that user?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Here, developers for human connection.
Hey.
We search for developers.
Nice.
Okay, there's not much troll content right here now, but there was when people wanted to use this feature. Yeah. Okay. So let's say I don't really like spiritual messages. I really get annoyed by something like that. Like, yeah, der Weg ist frei, das Erkennen des eigenen Lichts, blah blah blah. I really hate. What is it called? It's just literature-related esotericism.
Mm-hmm.
Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah.
Then I would really like, okay, I definitely want to block Andrea Licht, which means light. Yeah, and I'm missing the block at her, so I would actually like to block her. And yeah. So this is the reason why we would wanted this blacklist. I don't know. I don't even know her. I just don't want to see her content because she's always. Sorry. By the way, I'm not supposed to do this. People have. This is okay. Maybe we can cut that from the recording, but. I'm supposed to show only people. Where can we do it? Settings.
I don't know what you want to do.
Security. No. There's a flag where you can say, please share on publish only to. If you want your contributions not to be published, you could. You can add a check mark, and then
can publish
contributions is filtered.
You can publish them private.
You can publish it in private, and I didn't do that before.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe that's not good practice to use real data, real users' data for negative examples. I'm going to skip that from the recording.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyhow, but yeah, the point here is I want to give an example, so you don't necessarily need to know the people.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, so maybe I was a little too dramatic when I was talking about blocking someone, but yeah, I guess the point is that for me, like, and I don't know if it's an English thing or if it's a user, not all users agree with each other, but for me, like, if you say block a specific author, that's clear what you're saying. It's not like, oh, I thought it, for me, it's not like, oh, I thought it meant just like, I don't want to see this one post, but let's see how the rest of the posts are. I like most posts by this person, but I don't want to see this post. For me, that type of behavior, you would expect some sort of like wording that would say like hide post, something like that.
But shall we go back to development, because it's getting late here in Germany, and I wanted to be finished 20 minutes ago. But before we finish, I would like to add one more test case, maybe.
Yes.
Just one more component. So shall we shall we test the component that is responsible for blocking people on the authors page?
Yeah, that
Yes.
sounds reasonable because we all agree on that.
Yeah, so the component which is responsible for it is called follow buttons.
Follow buttons is the you can follow people, but you can also block people with the follow buttons.
Yes, that doesn't make any sense at all, right?
Not a whole lot. I don't want to get into another discussion.
Yeah, maybe why not? Let's refactor the code and test the block button component.
Armin, you're sharing your screen, but looking at the.
Hang on, window. Armin, let's see. I think it's
Should I do the test?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you want, I can also be the driver.
Okay. So then for the blacklist feature.
Yeah, so the component's called follow buttons. It's in global elements follow buttons. And maybe we can refactor this and extract the code that is responsible for blocking people here. Like I just injected the code here. It's definitely the wrong place. But as you can see, for example, so you have toggle follow, and I think there's this blacklistable mixin, which adds the functionality for blocking people. Yeah, if you just, for example, hit Control F and block, then you should see the code where we block people.
Button label unblock.
Yeah, for example.
And here block.
So you have
where's the handler?
if is blacklisted, and so if you see this blacklisted button, if you see the unblock blacklist or the unblock button, if you blacklisted the person, and you see the block button if you did not blacklist the person.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like a if-else statement.
And then a toggle blacklist.
Yeah, the click handler is toggle blacklist. So if you click on the button, that will toggle the method toggle blacklist.
Is it in user settings?
It is redirecting to user settings. So this toggle blacklist method is in the blacklistable mixin. I was reusing so a mixin is a piece of reusable code that you can use in two different components. And I was using toggle blacklist in the two components for it, the follow button and the what's it called? Contribution menu drop down.
Mm-hmm. So okay, it's this function, and this we should test.
How about I become the driver, because I have some more previous knowledge about where I put the code in.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Right, so this is going to be a little bit faster then. Pull already up to date.
I see it now the first time, so yeah.
Yeah, of course. So can you see my screen then?
Yes.
Right, so there's a folder mixin, and in this mixin, there's nothing. Wrong folder. Okay, mixins. There's this folder mixin. There's code that you can reuse in other components, including blacklistable. So everything in here is just mixed into the component.
Mm-hmm.
I've computed. There's current user settings. There's blacklist pending, indicating whether there's an ongoing request. There's this property is blacklisted, and there's toggle blacklist. And it is a little bit questionable if this is the right way to go, because you need to have a method called author referring to the entity that you want to block, like the person that you want to block. Like this author will return whatever person you're going to block.
Okay.
I don't
So
know
you,
if that's a good idea, honestly.
so
But
you have to pass the person, the whole user you want to block as parameter.
this piece of code knows that there is a method called this author. Author, here you go. Author returns this entity here. Well, in the HC contribution list, H contribution menu, contribution menu. We have author, and it's returning post user. That's why.
Okay.
So this blacklistable thing knows or is relying on a method called author. If we scrap this whole thing here, it's running on dev. On dev, come on.
Hello?
Hey,
Are you still with us, Robert?
he's struggling with something, I think.
I don't know. He's frozen. And he's
Or
too
he's
quiet.
frozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should send a message on Discord
Yeah.
because I don't think he would be silent for this long. If something was going on. Are you still with us? And then he's probably explaining a bunch of things, not knowing that he's frozen. Yeah.
Hopefully not.
And you're joining us from Germany as well, right?
Yes, I'm from Karlsruhe. Yes, and I'm studying computer science at a University of Applied Sciences here.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah, and so next semester I have to write a bachelor thesis.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes, yes. And
Exciting stuff.
I have some things I want to do. I know some things. I don't know the word now, but I know some things. I just have to talk to the professors. To one professor with him. It's next month, beginning of next month, and then we make it specific.
Okay, I'm back. So
Nice.
sorry
So
for that. It was it's like it's consuming a lot of memory, and I forgot to close it.
Yeah. No worries. How long did you talk before you realized that weren't there?
I realized it immediately.
Oh, okay, good. Maybe you're explaining a lot of things.
We thought that you're talking 20 minutes or what?
Yeah. Run dev. And run test.
Boah, das mache ich. So. Sorry. Jetzt.
All right, you can see my screen.
Yep.
Yeah, so what did we wanted to do? Am I? Um,
Blacklist feature test.
components. Ah. Oh. Okay, so follow buttons. Yeah, we have this blacklistable mix in. It's added here.
Mhm.
And yeah, Matt actually pointed out it's actually bad practice to put the behavior for blacklisting people into the follow button. It's basically only because it already had the user as this entity thing. And maybe I was doing, I mean, I was not test driven. I was not doing test driven development, and I was over engineering things. So maybe if we scrap the sort of HC contribution menu thing.
The drop down
Yeah.
with the settings.
Is your goal to write a test that that is going to pass? Because then, or would it be acceptable to write a test that we need to make some slight changes to get it to pass, like tomorrow, for example?
I don't know. I would first. I guess it's becoming late, and I would just like to write a test for this one here.
Yeah, I understand that. I was just saying, like, if the idea is maybe to rename this or to move it into its own place, like maybe you could write a test that would do what you expect it to do, like, and then it would fail because it's in the wrong place, and then we can move it to the right place to get it to pass tomorrow.
Yes, I think that sounds nice.
Mm.
Because I can work on, like, I know our times tomorrow are probably not going to meet up tomorrow, but like if there's a failing test that drives like moving it to the right place, that sounds like something I could do to get the test to pass.
Block button test. Yes.
Yeah.
And then one. It's the just block button. Shall we use prefix everything with HC? I don't know. I don't. What do you think?
So a follow button, block button would make sense.
Yeah, I guess the question is, should we call it like HC? Because we have HC icon, would it make sense to have everything as like a human connection block button, human connection follow button? I mean, I'm not sure. It sounds like a kind of a good idea, but maybe it's not, since it's getting late. We don't decide now.
But I think I also think it's okay because it's prefixed in the other components too. So with
Yeah, all of them. I mean, icon is not prefixed.
I cannot.
Huh?
No, the name of the component is, but the name of the file is not.
No, I meant the name of the components. Comments and so they're also prefixed with HC.
Yeah, and I also called the HC icon test.
But I don't know if this convention is strictly wird strikt eingehalten. If
Yeah,
it's strictly applied.
Yeah, it's if we strictly follow it.
So
this one here is using HC comment indeed.
They're using tilde as well. I guess you said it doesn't work in the test for some reason.
Yeah, but this one here is it's not the test file. So this one is
Yeah, exactly.
it's the feature of Webpack. And I don't know if how we can activate that feature for the tests.
Yeah. It is.
Well, maybe we have to look to or we have to look at the test runner if we can configure it with it. That it's I don't know if it's possible with the configured like in this way. Ava is a test runner.
Ava is a test runner. But actually, where is it HC comment in here? I mean, the name of the component is HC comment if you add it to a template. But what's the name of the component if we have a file? I mean, you can see the file is called comment.view. The name of the component is HC minus comment. Is there probably, I guess this one here is block button, just like that. But if you would render it, then it would have HC in it.
Yeah, that's what it's like in when I was inspecting with Vue.js in the inspector. It was being like the component was being rendered as HC icon, but the name of the file is icon. So you'd import it like block button, yeah.
All right, so let's just add a block button. Combined. Yeah, good question. Where should we put it?
In the button?
Oh yeah, perfect. You beat me.
Although follow is not for some reason.
Every component has a README apparently. Maybe there's some kind of view generate component command. Okay. Do we have it? Looking for development.
Vue CLI, yes. We like CLIs.
Yeah, I'm used to use both CLI and development environment. I think that's also nice.
Yeah, I it's nice because when you typically the ones I've used like with CLIs, they when you can use like generate and then that will generate tests for you as well.
Yeah, or components like with Feeder.js, you can components and services. I think you can generate or Angular CLI. That's really nice from the terminal, and so many some other things with config things. I think is nice in the IDE because it if you have a Maven POM or something like that in your project, then the IDE will automatically include it as a Maven project. Then you can see all plugins and so on. You know, some things it's making for you. It's which
Yeah.
make it easy for you
Yeah.
in some things, but other things that CLI or the terminal is better, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think there's no generate components command. On the other hand, I wonder how this got created. Okay, so this was indeed edited. Well, last year, but at least it was edited, for example, on January 15th.
So you're thinking that there's a generate because you're thinking that's probably the most likely case of having a README in every.
And it's not in every folder.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So maybe if you get blamed, like maybe it's the same person as adding a README in.
Oh, that means that I should put in a folder. Not I shouldn't put my component into button.
Yeah.
Into
like a folder for every component.
block button, right?
Yeah.
And then block button. You go. What happens if I just say minimal code for a component?
Data, I think the data must be there. And the name. Or what do you mean? You ask for minimal for a component.
Yeah, the minimal code for a component.
I think the name is required, and data I don't know, but I think also if it's empty, it's no problem. I think, but it should be there, an empty object or so.
So it cannot find a module. Where's the problem? Can you see it?
No, I don't. You definitely don't need that extra block button because I tried that with icon when I couldn't find, and it wasn't because of that. And it on the icon when we don't have. Do you need to do? No, I was thinking maybe a camel case, but the other ones are capitalized as well. You have 5 of those.
Yeah, I copied that.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah.
Oh, do you have the 2 icons?
Not much better. Couldn't find a valid script tag, no problem. And this is what I like about test-driven development. Test-driven development really helps you to write just the code that you actually need.
Yeah, like the minimal.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
that was easy.
All right.
Actually, I'm getting a little bit tired.
Yeah.
How about it?
I can. I don't know if it's okay with you. I can extract that code out from the follow button and try to get it working in the block button. Or do you
Nice,
think there's?
that would be awesome.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's almost 1 a.m. in Germany. What's your time, Matt?
It's only 7:45. Almost 8.
Not so bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I still got a couple more hours in me.
All right.
Oh, awesome. That was really nice. I like.
Yes, it was a
It
nice.
It was a cool session, yes. But sorry for the breakings. So for the
Yeah, sorry for. I had also crash downs. I will probably edit that video later on in order to cut out the section where I was showing real data from the alpha version. Because just now, just today, I was phoning. I was having a phone call with the team. And they told me about this feature that I have to click on admin interface and then only show contributions by people who were okay with publishing the content.
Yeah. I don't know what to apologize for, but sorry for whatever.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
All right.
So,
see you
guys soon.
Have a nice evening.
Have a nice night. Have a nice evening.
Goodbye.